everybody, welcome to our channel. We are the Wild Vegans. This is Eric, I'm Ashley, and we're back with another video after taking a 5-month hiatus. And today we're going to be talking about the similarities between MLMs and cults. Before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you like this type of content, please let us know in the comment section below. And without further delay, let's go ahead and jump into it.
So what is an MLM? An MLM is a multi-level marketing scheme. It's usually represented as a company, and they encourage existing distributors to recruit new distributors, and that's called their downline. The more people that you recruit, the more people that are underneath you, and you get a certain percentage of their sales. And that's why MLMs are often called pyramid schemes as well. Now, what is a cult? It is a social group that's defined by unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or by a common interest in a particular goal.
So now let's go ahead and jump into this list that Eric and I created. If we miss anything, let us know in the comment section below if you've seen any common similarities between MLMs and cults. We are really interested to know. So to start us off, Eric, take it away.
The main similarity between MLMs and cults is that they lead with a false promise. They're either trying to offer you financial freedom and you're starting your own business, quote unquote, or they want to get you closer to understanding the true meaning of life. So they're promising you this understanding or this financial freedom that you're ultimately never going to get.
So a few examples of MLMs are Herbalife, Arabon, Monate. All of these MLMs promise this idea of financial freedom, like you were saying, Eric, but they take these oftentimes vulnerable people, they have them under the impression that they're going to make a ton of money by joining their company. And oftentimes that does not happen.
And now I owe thousands of dollars. My brand new car got repoed.
I had to make the decision to let my house go.
Yeah, they'll talk about part-time work, full-time pay. They'll try to get them to think that they're finally getting their big break in life, which is actually really heartbreaking when you think about it.
Yeah.
And instead of getting them towards financial independence, they actually make them more financially dependent on the company by having to buy in and spending what little money they have. Then they're even more desperate to make money, and they believe even more in the company, so it's this vicious cycle.
We were taught and encouraged to spend every month, so we would be dependent on that next bonus check. So we couldn't leave.
And this is very similar to cults as well. We see it with Scientology, where the members are made to spend all of their money on Scientology in order to prove that they are dedicated to the religion. And it's the same thing with MLMs and cults.
The second similarity that Eric and I have found among MLMs and cults are the people that are targeted. So with MLMs, you see that they're oftentimes targeting single mothers, stay-at-home mothers, marginalized groups of people, very vulnerable and impressionable people, and people that are looking for a sense of community or a bigger purpose in life. They're looking for financial independence. That's really their target audience. With cults, you see a same pattern. They're targeting people that are yearning for a purpose in life. They're yearning for a sense of community. They want to be a part of a tribe.
I touched on how these MLMs and cults force their members to buy in earlier, and I want to expand on that now. Perfect example of this is LuLaRoe, which forces their distributors to spend $5,000 for some leggings that they're going to sell on Instagram Live, and that's just to get their foot in the door. And they're sent these horrible leggings that are damaged, they're wet, they're smelly.
They have several pending lawsuits against them. It's just disgusting what these companies are able to get away with.
Exactly, and creating this downline, having people underneath them, knowing that each person has to invest money, all this money is going towards the company, and they're not even providing their own employees or their own distributors with quality product to then sell. They don't even care about the product ultimately. These companies just want money, and they're willing to exploit these impressionable and vulnerable people people. Scientology is also a perfect example. The Scientologists have to spend all of this money on courses, on books, in order to prove that they are worthy and that they're dedicated. They have to stop talking to family members that are not also within the religion. So not only are they paying with their money, but they're also paying by having to break these strong bonds with their family members and their friends as well. And Scientology also has specific rules for how to recruit people. Leah Remini's talked about that as well, how if somebody asks anything about Scientology, instead of answering their question, you're supposed to tell them, well, why don't you come and check it out for yourself and bring them into the church.
So you said to me, you should go to the church and check it out.
Which is the line. I mean, that's the line that we're taught to say.
To reel people in.
To reel people in.
And a major similarity between MLMs and cults is how they manipulate people and their families. That way, instead of having a house that's divided in terms of one person supporting the cult and one person that's against it or doesn't understand it, they get them into it. It's all in the name of manipulation. It's all in the name of control. And they're just also trying to get as many people into the cult as possible.
If you are able to get your husband on board, then not only is your husband on board, but then your future children are on board. Another similarity that Eric and I noticed is this us versus them mentality. So for example, in MLMs, if someone chooses to leave an MLM and let's just say the girls ask their upline, whatever happened to so-and-so? The upline will tell their downline, well, they didn't have the right mindset, or they didn't read the right self-help books. They weren't motivated enough. They weren't fully dedicated.
And there's definitely toxic positivity as a similarity between MLMs and cults as well. If you question anything about the company at all, you are immediately told that you just need to be more positive, you need to be more invested into the company, and maybe you wouldn't have those types of thoughts. And it's because you are not invested in the company as much as you should be that you're thinking that way.
And you also see this us versus them mentality in cults as well. You enter in this cult and you have a sense of belonging, and there is a common mission in that group to find your higher self, your higher purpose in life. And once you leave, your group is told that person left because they strayed away from that meaning. They weren't dedicated like we are. They aren't one of us.
A huge reason why people join MLMs and cults is because of community. A lot of these people are either introverts or they're loners, they don't have family or friends, and they feel like they're finally going to be part of a community that supports them and fully accepts them. Finally having that sense of community is such an amazing feeling for these people that have gone without it for so long. But that beautiful feeling is completely changed when they're shunned, when they're kicked out, when they're unfollowed by that community, when they decide to leave.
The more I spoke out, the more I shared my story, the more friends unfriended me. It's mind games.
They are viewed as a defector that went against the principles of the community, and they are the enemy now. So they completely lose that community that they just got a taste of finally, and it's really disgusting and evil how they manipulate people's emotions to force them to stay.
And it's so sad because, like you and I were just watching earlier, Eric, there's a woman from LuLaRoe who was giving this speech to all of her fellow teammates. She was saying, I feel like I'm part of a community now. I feel like I found like my tribe. To know that if she ever chooses to leave, the likelihood of her losing that community is very highly likely, because do you think these people want to hang out with you if you're not doing the same thing they are, going to the same events that they are, have the same mission that they have? No, most likely not.
When you look at the speeches of David Miscavige, of Jim Jones, of Charles Manson, of the CEO of these different MLMs, you see that they all use the same rhetoric. They have the same characteristics when they're giving their speeches. It all sort of sounds like the same exact speech that they're giving.
Alright everyone, well those are just some of the similarities that we've personally seen among MLMs and cults. Let us know in the comment section below if we missed anything. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. We deeply appreciate it. And if you want to see more content like this, please let us know in the comment section below. But until next time, we will see you in our next video.